expand this for you. Here it is that it talks about how the people who do not show any kind of sympathy may go through some bad experience and then they have changed their attitude. Okay, let's read and understand. The story goes like this. There was once a young man who was strong and healthy and enjoyed his work. In every way, he felt on the top of life and had no sympathy. Remember, had no sympathy, it is very, very important, and had no sympathy for uninteresting folk who seemed to form a large portion of the population. He had no sympathy at the beginning. Later, what happens? One day he got attack of influenza. He had had it before and paid a little attention to it, but this time he developed pneumonia. Look at the spelling of pneumonia also, and was dangerously ill. When he recovered, he could only move slowly. He was easily tired, and life has become difficult for him. When he was well enough to go to work, he found the journey home very tiring. He looked at the strong man sitting comfortably in the train or bus and then feeling tired himself. Noticed how tired some of the older people were who were standing beside him. Gradually, he got strong again, but when he was in train or bus, he now looked around to see if there was any older person in need of a seat, and if there was, he gave up his. I have got my strength back now, he said himself. These older people will never have their strength again. So this is what is the first paragraph, and this is what is a story that is narrated by the writer. Look at the change in the attitude of this young man. Okay, at the beginning, he would not pay any attention to the old people who would be standing by in the bus or a train, had no sympathy, and in fact, he would make fun of them. At the end of this paragraph itself, it is said that when he had gone through one experience of illness where he grown weak, and when he was had to travel by the train and bus, he then understood the pain and difficulties of the weaker people. And then finally, when he got back his strength, recovering from his illness, he now would offer his seat to anybody who is elderly and who look like a little weaker than him. The reason that he gives for that is the last line. He says that I have got my strength back because he was young and he fell ill, and he therefore he could recover from this his sickness and he could get back his strength. But he says that these older people will never have their strength again. जे लोक म्हातारे झाले, those who have grown older, they would never have their strength again. So therefore, the understanding of the weakness, the understanding of the sickness itself has changed the attitude of the person, and then now he is more courteous, more helpful for the older people. So the relevance of the first paragraph, the story of a young man, is that it underlines the necessity of the empathy for the weaker people. Remember, it underlines the quality or good manners of having empathy and sympathy for the weaker and older people. ज्या लोकांना मुळातच काही ताकद नाही, ज्यांच्यात क्षमता नाहीत, अशा लोकांना समजून घेणं, त्यांच्यासाठी सिंपती आणि एम्पथी असणं. This is what is the relevance of this young man, and there is therefore change in his attitude. Okay, is it clear? Is the first paragraph clear to you, so that you can move to the next one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is what the relevance. Remember, there would be always this question that what is the relevance of the story of young man that is narrated by the writer. You have to say that the first paragraph of the passage Good Manners narrate a story of a young man which underlines the importance of having empathy and sympathy for the weaker and sick person or old people. Okay, and then you can narrate the story in short, and you can talk about how his attitude how got changed. Now, in the second place, in the second paragraph, he is talking about another idea. Remember, when we discussed a little background of how to understand essay, we talked about that unlike short story, you would find a new idea, new exposition at every paragraph. So again, here is a new idea is explored by the writer. Here he says, when you are cycling and see an old man hesitating on crossing, don't call him old fool. It is usually our mistake. No? We call usually these people who move slowly around, we call them as a fool or we make fun of them. And further it is said, he may not hear very well, एकतर त्याला ऐकायला येत नसेल, or may not see clearly, there would be problem with his visibility, or he may have become tired with walking. Perhaps he was a famous soldier in the war and wounds are still painful. Or perhaps he had artificial leg. One day you may go to a war and be severely injured. What will you think if schoolboys make fun of you because you can only move slowly? Okay, he again tries to put us in situation in order to realize those people who move slowly around us. Okay, there could be different reasons, those are cited in the second paragraph. He says that there would be a famous soldier, he might have pains and wounds in his legs, or he might have, somebody might have problem with the visibility, some might have problem with the breathing, some might have been tired, etc, etc. There are several reasons for moving slowly. So instead of making fun of these kind of people who move slowly around us, we should help them and not to make fun of them. And therefore he wants to put us in that situation. He says that there would be a day when you would be again go to war and injure yourself, and then what would happen? You would also expecting from others to help you out. Why should you go to war for that? No, let us say for example, by driving riding a bike itself you get injured and your leg is not fine for walking and you are moving slowly. Will you like to call people call you by names, different names, people laugh at you? No, you, even you don't like that. So the thing is that he wants to put us into the situation when people move slowly and they hesitate to cross the road. In that case, we should help out those people rather than laughing at them or making fun of them. Paragraph 3. Now he is again imagining another situation, and he exposes us to a different good manner. What he says, look at that. One of the things all boys and girls are going to learn before very long is that they are fragile little things in a dangerous world. Look at that, fragile little things in a dangerous world. Fragile little things, they are very delicate. Okay, they are not very strong, and in the dangerous world, the world is very dangerous. So all the boys and girls, because you are just now, perhaps it might be the first year when you are set free by your parents, and most probably in coming years you will have to take your own decisions regarding different things. You would realize at one point that the world is dangerous thing and you are very fragile, you are very delicate, so that you would afraid of many things in the world, because your parents, look at it here, your parents and teachers and all your family members by now, because 11 and 12 up to this age, they protect you from everything. They take responsibility of everything that happens to you in your life. Therefore you people do not feel it any kind of dangerous in the world. But now what would happen, since you people would discover your own freedom, you would find yourself, realize yourself that you are fragile, very delicate objects, and the world is dangerous, so we'll afraid of many things. Further he says, your parents and your teachers and all older people, he is talking about all older people or elderly people, have had some severe blows already. Then you will realize when you will go through bad experiences in your life, that how your parents, teachers and other old people that you have come across have already gone through bad experiences, in their lives, and therefore they have a particular point of view for this world and different kind of attitudes they have gathered for the world and different situations. Further, he says they get more severe blows every year. Every year there are some bad experiences in their lives. Most of them would give all the money they have to get your health and strength. Many times, if you people fell ill, what would happen? The parents would spend all their money by whatever way they have saved it, but they would spend all their money in order to get your health back, get your strength back, and your good hair, teeth, and nice hair. They would care for everything that is good in you. You have no idea how tired they are at times because they do not complain. You think everything is all right. Okay. Older people never complain to the elder people, the junior people, the girls and boys in the house. Okay. Because simply you cannot understand their pains, their troubles, and their bad experiences. Therefore, they never complain. And what is the point of view of young people for them? That you people think that they have nothing in their life that is challenging. Okay. Further, he says, well, try to make life easy for them. Try to make life easy for them as you can, and when it is your turn to suffer, you feel happier for having helped when you could. There would be your turn to go through bad experiences. At that bad times, you would feel happy that once there was a bad time in somebody's life and then you had helped him or her, and that would give you a good feeling even in the bad times. So now he moves on and talks about another good manners. He says, good manners are also important when you are with your friends. Now, so far, he talks about the outer world, young elder people, then he talks about your family mates, then he talks about somebody who moves slowly. So far, he has given us three different situations in which we can practice some good manners. Now, he's talking about even in the friends how good manners are very, very important. What he says, look at that. When you speak to anyone, speak clearly and sufficiently loudly. The reason is given for the person to hear. He says that it is in an insult to a person to, to ask his attention and then speak so that he does not understand you. It would be insult for a person if you do not speak appropriately loudly. So whenever you talk to your friends, please be clear about your thought first thing, and the second thing is that please speak enough loudly. Not loudly मतलब चीख के नहीं बोलना, but you, at least that person can hear. So because you have already asked for somebody's attention. And further he says, and remember, it is your responsibility to make yourself understood, and therefore if you are talking to your friends and somebody is not understanding you, you shouldn't complain about that, because to make